Hi people, what's going on and how are you doing in this course so far? And in this video we will be learning the next concept in JavaScript that is called as data types. So before diving deep into data types, let me know in the comment section below all of your progress and the status and how you are doing in this course, because I'm glad to see all of those things. And if you're stuck somewhere or if you have some questions, doubts or anything else, ping me up in the comment section. I will be happy to help you out. So now, yeah, what is data types in JavaScript? Yeah, I'll just go to the JS, and as you can see guys, this is the things which we have left so far. In the previous video we have learned about output in JS, so I'll just remove this off and save this file. And coming to the HTML, I will just remove this entire thing. We don't need that anymore. And now, yeah, so in the comment over here I'll just write a block comment. So now, what is data type? So what do you mean by that? I hope that you have got some basic understanding of data types so far. If you have had some experience in some other programming languages like C, C++, or Java, there is nothing much in data type. So basically, data type tells us, tells us the type of data that can be stored, right? Stored in, or variable or a computer. I'll just say computer or slash variable. So we have not got into the concept of variable so far, but just imagine that we need some data to store, and we need that data to be processed, and we need that data to be in the part of a logic, right? So without data we can't write any a logic for any scenarios, right? So data must be an important integral part of any programming language. So now this is just a common definition of data type, which means we can store any data type, the type of data that can be stored in a computer. That the data can be, in a general way, the data can be an image or video, audio, or a text file or anything else. But that is not the case which we are studying now, because that becomes all of the multimedia stuff. So we are not dealing with the multimedia, so we are just dealing with a programming kind of data, like integers, numbers, a floating point number, string, characters, boolean. All of those things will be constitute as data type. So having done with that, so how many types of data types we have in JavaScript, guys? So there are 7 data types. So first I will just say string. So string is a data type, and the next type is boolean. So boolean is again the data type, one of the data type, and the third data type in JavaScript is a number, and the fourth will be, I call it as a big int, which is again an extension of a number, and the fifth data type is, I call it as null value data type, so null value, and the sixth data type is what we call it as undefined. So this is the sixth data type, and the seventh data type is again a complex thing, what we call it as object. So these are the data types in JavaScript. So in these are the broad, categories of data types in JavaScript. First is string, boolean, number, and big int, null valued, undefined, and object. So these are the 7 data types in JavaScript. So now let's move ahead and work around with all of these data types one by one. So now let's work around with the first data type. We call it as string, right? So how do you, what is, guys, again, what is a string? String is a, in general terms, it's a series of characters that can be stored, right? So that can be stored in terms of 3 ways. Again, the string, I'll just note it down here. So yeah, I'll just again have a comment here, and so I'll just have explain you guys about the string. So it is a series of characters that can be done in 3 ways. So I'll just say 3 ways to define a string. So what are the 3 ways to define a string? First is with help of double quotes, and the second is with the help of single quotes, and the third, yeah, not fourth, the third type is with the help of backticks. That's it. So with the help of these three ways, we can define a string. So let me explain you again with all of these things. So now let me say I'll just console something to the log. Again, since because I'm always use console because we are still in the fundamentals of JavaScript, and you don't know anything about variables and the functions and the logic, so I'll just explain you that. So now as we have studied, this is just an it just outputs something to the log, right? So now if I write some double quotes over here, it means a string. So I'll just say this is, I'll just say, I'm sorry, this is double quotes. So as you can see, this is the double quotes. With the help of double quotes, we have defined a string. So I'll just save this. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll come back to the browser, and if I refresh this thing, if I go to the console, this is what we call, right? So with the help of double quotes, we have defined a string. So similarly, with the help of console, I will just define another string with the help of a single quotes. I will just say this is single quotes, right? So this is one and the same, guys. So if I just save this and come back to the browser and refresh it, you see we got the thing. So there is no difference between the double quotes and the single quotes, right? You make sure that you keep that in mind. You can also use single quotes as well as double quotes, right? So this is the second way of doing that. And the third way is again with the help of backticks. So I'll just say now with the help of backticks, make sure that guys, these are the backticks. I'll just say this is backticks, right? I'll just save this, come back to the browser, refresh this, right? Guys, now we have got all the three forms of defining a string in JavaScript. But the double quotes and the single quotes have no difference between that with the backticks. So backticks performs some extra work. It has got an extended form of wrapping up the text beyond the hard code values. So now what I will do here is inside the backticks I'll just say dollar and the brackets, this bracket. So now what do you mean by this dollar and the this flower brackets over here? It indicates that we are wrapping up some variable value or some expression inside this bracket. So I'll just say 2 plus 4. So now what is 2 plus 4? Of course it is 6, right? So I'll just say a colon over here and save this and come back to the browser. If I refresh that, guys, as you can see, this is backticks with what, 6, right? As you can see, it has calculated the addition of the things. Similarly, we can have, instead of plus, we can have multiplication sign, division sign, or any arithmetic expression in between this, right? So if I just save this and come back to the browser, you see we got the multiplication of that. So this is the extended form of backticks. So within backticks, we can make use of embed some logic between that, but it doesn't work with the double quote. So I'll just say console.log, and I will just say with the help of double quotes or single quotes, this is not gonna work, right? So I'll just say dollar and the brackets, and I will just say 2 plus 2. So as you can see, guys, our sublime text is not distinguishing between that, right? So it takes as just the string, right? So if I just save this and come back to the browser, refresh that, you see it just acts like a string. It won't work in double quotes or as well as with the single quotes, right? So this is, guys, this is it all about the string. I have explained you all of the in depth about the strings in JavaScript and all the forms of it. So in the next video we will learn the rest of the data types in JavaScript, and I think that combining all of this in one video makes you confusing things, because it has got a lot of things again in each and every one of the data types. So in this video we have covered the string data types in JavaScript, and we have also got the three ways to define a string. And we have also got the tricky part in backticks, where we can perform some arithmetic operation within backticks, right? So it has got a greater advantage than the double quotes or single quotes, right? Yes guys, this is all about the string data type in JavaScript, and see you in the next video where we will be learning all of the rest of the data types in JavaScript, and see you in the next video.